Hi everyone, my name is Ginger Williams and I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Colorado. I believe that my number one job is to help you buy or sell a home and make that process as seamless as possible. Secondary to that, but no less important, is to educate you along the way. So this is a first video in a series of videos that I hope you will find educational and beneficial about all the different facets of home ownership. I figure the best place to start is with someone who has their hand in the entire process. So I'm here today with Anthony Lee, who is a transaction coordinator with Avenue Transactions. You might be asking yourself, what in the world is a transaction coordinator? Well, once you make an offer on a house and your offer is accepted, there are many different steps that need to take place before you're actually handed the keys to your new home. This is where a transaction coordinator comes in. Anthony, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. So can you tell us what exactly a transaction coordinator is and how it is that you help us get to the closing table?
Yeah, absolutely. So a transaction coordinator is exactly what it sounds like. We coordinate the whole entire transaction. And like you just mentioned, we're there to help make sure that all those steps taken to get to the closing table happen. So especially in Colorado real estate contracts, there's a possibility of 36 deadlines. So our main job as a TC is to oversee those deadlines, making sure that we hit those accordingly and execute on them. Secondary to that, there's a lot of paperwork involved in real estate transactions. There's a lot of T's that need crossed and I's that need dotted. So our other job too is just to make sure that all of our paperwork is getting done. Everybody that needs to sign is getting signed. And we're staying in compliance with Colorado real estate guidelines, as well as we also help with things like scheduling appointments, working with title companies to reserve what time we're going to close at the closing table, setting up final walkthrough, things like that. So we just basically oversee the whole entire transaction and then just make sure it goes according to plan.
Okay. And how many steps would you say that you do help us coordinate from the offer acceptance all the way to the closing table?
Yeah, I think that just depends, right? Like every contract is different. Obviously, if all 36 possible deadlines are there, then we're going to be heavily involved. But I think it depends on the contract and on who we're working with. You know, every buyer, seller is different, every lender is different, title company is different. Some we need to be heavily involved on, and some we don't. It's going to be a smooth transaction. Those are the ones we always hope for and wish for, right? But I think I will say this is we are heavily involved from the very beginning. So let's say you're going to list your house. A TC can jump in to help build the MLS before it even goes live. And then we coordinate the whole entire transaction, and we're still there. You know, we get to closing table and everybody's handing off keys and taking pictures and celebrating. Even after that, we're still involved in the transaction, following up with our buyer and seller, making sure they have all the paperwork that they need. We're asking for reviews, whatever it may be. So we're always there in the transaction up until the very, very end after closing, just to ensure that they have everything they need.
Okay, and I know for a lot of people, communication is key. I am a big communicator. I like being kept in the loop. And so, what are some of the ways that you make sure that our customers always feel like they're being kept informed?
Yeah, especially in real estate, that's like the number one thing is you have to have great communication. And so, because we are behind the scenes a lot in the transaction, and we're not really we're not face to face with our clients, we have to rely heavily on good and thought out and thorough communication with our buyer, seller, and with agent. Within Avenue, one of the main ways we do this, though, just to name a few, is let's say we're going to a closing table, we have the closing appointment. You know, we'll utilize tools like Google Invites, and we'll send those directly to the buyer, seller. That way, they know exactly who, where, and when they're signing with. We'll send deadline reminders or email reminders saying, hey, just to notify you this deadline's coming up. And let's say in a contract we make an amendment and a deadline changes. We can also send like an updated calendar of all of our deadlines. That way our clients know what deadlines we've already hit, which ones are upcoming, and which ones need to be taken care of today. So those are just a couple ways that we communicate with our clients.
Okay, now let's delve into deadlines a bit. When you look at a Colorado contract to buy and sell real estate, there's an entire section on dates and deadlines, and we as realtors and as the home buyer or seller are expected to adhere strictly to these deadlines, which can seem like a daunting task. So Anthony, how would you say as a transaction coordinator you help us to ease some of the anxiety behind this whole deadline part of the contract?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is we act as insurance to both our agent and we're working with and the buyer or seller. So we act as insurance to the agent in the sense of if they're ever on the run or they forget to send something or they're not sure if it's sent or been received, they can always come to us. It's easy to miss something with one set of eyes on it, but it's a little bit harder to miss something with two. So we're insurance in that sense, and we're also insurance to the end client, to the buyer or seller. If they for some reason can't reach a realtor, they can always call us, and we're there for them to answer questions, provide clarifications, or whatever it may be. And I think the more practical answer is we have systems and softwares in place that prompt us to prepare for deadlines, they prompt us to execute the deadlines, and then prompt us to make sure and follow up on the deadlines to make sure that they're done. So that's how we help manage the 36 deadlines.
Awesome. Well, Anthony, I really appreciate you being here today. It was great chatting with you, and thank you for shedding light on what a transaction coordinator does and why we as realtors absolutely love you guys. So I hope you out there found this video educational and beneficial. And if you did, give us a like and a comment, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.